Ase Zumba.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine Jack.
And I'm Tracy Pa. Join me later in the Bulletin for Sports.
Climate change remains a threat to the people of PNG, and the island nations and serious actions should be taken to mitigate the effects of climate change. These were NCD Governor Powes Pakop remarks at the second Climate Change Summit being held in Port Moresby.
We will make, at the national level, adopting a clear road plan so that we will start reducing our reliance on fossil fuel, and we can say that we are really taking action.
Governor Pakop said climate change is real and it is of paramount importance that this issue must be taken seriously. He said the summit brought out the significant importance of the commitment that was made by the government to protect the natural environment.
And perhaps Minister is relying on, on this Protection Areas Act. Of course, is to, declare some more parts of our, all this rainforest and with all this biodiversity, which is important to us to sustain us, but also important for the world, especially for scientific research and so on. What real step are we taking to protect this great biodiversity, the rich biodiversity that we host, that belongs to us and we share with the world, that belongs also to the world? Have we declared more conservation area?
He said for PNG, protecting the environment is important because it is the people's heritage. Pakop urged the participants to be prompt and serious with their discussions to address climate change both in PNG and globally. The Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Simon Kilepa, said the summit reminds PNG and the global community of the essential of protecting and preserving the environment.
Under the Marape-Rosso government, climate change remains the priority for development agenda, due to the fact that our country remains one of the vulnerable countries in the world in the face of climate change. That is why the summit is crucial for every stakeholder to come together, identify our major challenges are faced and what critical actions are needed. How can these actions be implemented and who can implement this action as a country going forward?
Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Meantime, the Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Simo Kilepa, has announced the transfer of the Porgera Mine Environment Permit from Barrick New Guinea Limited to New Porgera Limited.
Today's occasion to transfer the environment permits signifies the government's commitment to see the mines reopening. In terms of government policy, our Honourable Prime Minister during the recent months has made some hard-line decisions on policy matters regarding the closure and reopening of the mine in terms of benefits and compensation, covering environmental damages to affected landowners and communities.
The National Energy Authority has been challenged to pull up their game to reform the energy sector. Minister for Trade and Industry Richard Maru challenged the authority on how they can come up with ways to produce clean, cheap and reliable energy. Maru says the high cost of doing business in PNG can partly be attributed to the high cost of energy in a country rich with clean energy sources.
On the final day of the Petroleum and Energy Conference, Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru acknowledged the abundant energy sources available in PNG, but also queried how these sources can be utilized to produce clean, cheap and reliable energy.
Our country is a country so endowed with rivers, with sunshine, and yet cost of energy to business is among the highest in the world. We have constant daily blackouts into a country that really there's no reason for that. It's really affecting business in a very, very big way. We're still depending on fossil fuel when we shouldn't be.
Maru says the high cost of energy is reflected in the high cost of production and is further passed on to consumers through the high prices. He said the creation of the National Energy Authority 2 years ago was to address energy issues in the country. He is critical that the authority is yet to produce results.
I know we've got the Energy Authority in place for over 2 years, but in my view as the Minister responsible for industry, commerce, exports, I haven't seen the cost of energy coming down. Blackouts continue in Papua New Guinea. The current industry structure, where we have a SOE which is riddled with debt, is not sustainable. We continue to have high cost of energy, not acceptable. No responsible government, no country should accept the current state of being, where we are today. And I say that with no apologies to anyone.
He says PNG can never go into downstream processing if the cost of energy issues are not addressed. Maru challenged NEA to research the energy market and see how PNG can get to that level. Meantime, Prime Minister James Marape, in opening the conference on Tuesday, also acknowledged the abundance of energy resources in Papua New Guinea and challenged investors on how they can tap into this sector to meet the energy needs of the country and also provide clean energy with little to no emissions.
It's not an accidental use of land. Cleaner hydrocarbon space, yes, much cleaner than others. We have much cleaner renewables, hydro potential, geothermal potential, solar potentials, wind potentials, and so we have abundance of energy. And I see the 4 billion people in the Asian marketplace. The appetite for energy will continue to grow and grow. I speak in an ASEAN region, beyond 5% of global GDP. ASEAN region, the tiger economies of Asia will continue to grow, and the need for energy outgrows the economic growth. That's not including Japan, Korea, China, India. That's just the Asian economy. And PNG, right in the periphery, not in the mix of the Asian economy, has an indication that they need economy. The economy needs energy, I beg your pardon, as we speak. And so today's conversation is timely. You're in a place where we will be promoting investment in the energy sector.
Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Air New Guinea and PNG Air have suspended their flights to Rabaul this morning and will continue for an indefinite period. This is following the vandalism at Tokwa Airport yesterday, where the terminal sustained significant damage. PNG Air, in a statement, cited safety concerns as the primary reason for this suspension. It confirmed that flights will remain suspended until PNG Air can ensure safe operations in the province. Customers who have purchased tickets for inbound and outbound travel to Rabaul will be contacted by PNG Air's call center team for further advisories. The national government's plan to build a brand new city at Nadzab, Morbe Province, is progressing well. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, Physical Planning and Urbanization, John Rosso, says the project is 90% complete and that the phase of land acquisition should be complete by this December.
The national government's land partnership program intended for implementation in projects within the annual budget allocation of 200 million kina a year through the national budget's public investment program over the next 5 years is well underway. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, Physical Planning and Urbanization, John Rosso, says Nadzab will be the first of this project to be developed to cater for the new Nadzab city.
Our first project is the brand new NADZEP city, and our lands officers have been in Leh talking to the landowners. We're 90% through with our acquisition process, so we're now talking to the landowners who are willing to surrender the land for the acquisition for NADZEP city, and we've surveyed the boundaries. We're identifying appropriate landowners now with the point of acquiring the land in partnership with the landowners. So parts of the land will be acquired, monetary, compensate them through monetary means. Other parts will be, they can, surrender the land that they can work in partnership with development companies of their choice later on down the track. But the whole boundaries for NADZEP has been established, and we're currently talking to the landowners. The NADZEP acquisition, which is the biggest one, will be completed before December this year.
Rosso expressed that it is the national government's priority to ensure their projects to establish brand new urban suburbs to cater for the country's growing population.
We want to do away with our people living in settlements. The only way we can do that is we acquire the land, we work closely with the city and town authorities, and then we subdivide the land using through lands, and then we give it to our people with proper roads, proper allotments, and at affordable prices for our people.
The Deputy Prime Minister says this is a first-of-its-kind project undertaken by this government since independence in 1975. Mary Silla Kelleton, TVWAN News.
Furthermore, Deputy Prime Minister Rosso says the government has a duty of care to house its people, speaking on the reality that many public servants and the working class face the challenges of affordable housing.
Our lands officers have been in Leh talking to the landowners. We're 90% through with our acquisition process, so we're now talking to the landowners who are willing to surrender the land for the acquisition for NADZEP city, and we've surveyed the boundaries. We're identifying appropriate landowners now with the point of acquiring the land in partnership with the landowners. So parts of the land will be acquired, monetary, compensate them through monetary means. Other parts will be, they can, surrender the land that they can work in partnership with development companies of their choice later on down the track. But the whole boundaries for NADZEP has been established, and we're currently talking to the landowners. The NADZEP acquisition, which is the biggest one, will be completed before December this year.
Criminals and opportunists in Port Moresby and Central Province have been warned not to meddle with activities lined up to mark the country's 48th independence celebrations. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Hierarchy today launched the police special operations for a safe and peaceful celebration.
Port Moresby and NCD Police will continue to provide regular normal operations, and with the hype of activities and celebrations, Police Special Operation kicks off today. Police operations will be in full swing to make sure Papua New Guineans observe the country's 48th independence anniversary in a peaceful and meaningful way. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary launched the special operations today to step up security in areas where official public gatherings will take place for celebrations. Port Moresby will host a variety of activities, starting with the flag raising ceremony at the Independence Hill and the Boulevard. Boroko Precinct will host the Independence Night Market. Police put to table the plans of operations and targeted hotspots to maintain peace in the city during this special event. Troublemakers have been warned.
Make sure that you warn your children, grown-up children, teenagers, early teens, late teens, warn them that law will not deal with you easily or treat you as a child. So this is very important going forward. This kind of message must go to people to take it over because of the level and the magnitude of the crime that is taking place in the city.
The police special operations will cover all areas of the city, including routine checks along the Magi Highway in Central Province, making sure to cut down on planned illegal activities. Police say at such big events, opportunists and petty criminals are unavoidable. ACP, NCD and Central Command Anthony Wagambi Jr. has warned criminals to be wary.
because people do not behave themselves responsibly. So we want to make sure that the majority of law-abiding citizens move about freely without being harassed by that minority. So that's what we're conducting all kind of operations. Some naman very responsible. And police don't need to conduct big operations. Bangla staff na lumuk na sol na, walk normal. O sir na, morning to be all, especially all lights are causing problem to this lack of time. Inside long, what must be? Now inside of central province. Suppose you think lock in some travel, police na visiting.
Police have called on city residents and central province to celebrate independence in true spirit and not engage in illegal activities. Meantime, a liquor ban takes effect from September 14th to the 17th. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
This is TVWAN News. After the break, Connect Central First and Nawab Development Plan.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Want to know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskies, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Time to all.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply.
All Mama Flame is not all Sam.
Me say using flame flower long one him. Me say make him kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like him flower balls belong me what them kawa war na spring ania. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him lo house. Ne make kumu mix him what them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is scaling one time olara pela kai. Me save kissing more kai long all get a toya mi tromoy one time flame flower.
You enough making more one time flame flower.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open nets.
After a humiliating loss to the Broncos, the Storm look to save their premiership hope against a red-hot Worcester side this Friday.
He's got there. He's a monster of a winger. Now look past Qatar. Too strong.
An untouched Joey Manu. Here come the Roosters. Now Kubo. He's got that down.
This is season on the line for both teams. This is going to be a showdown you don't want to miss.
Going through Lord like a rover around the body. Oh, what a goal. That'll spark him.
Pepper hits overdrive and hits a ripper.
Kelly Luke to handle further off. Very nice collect. Gave it up. Tom Green. Superstar.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
Oh, out! What a beauty! He's on absolute fire!
Welcome back. The National Department of Health can now measure the success or failure of its programs using a new health monitoring and evaluation toolkit. The M&E kit was launched in Port Moresby recently and will also be used to measure 5 key areas of the National Health Plan. Health and HIV/AIDS Minister Dr. Lino Tom said the strategic plan includes 200 indicators to measure programs in the 5 key areas of the National Health Plan. He said indicators covering programs such as non-communicable diseases, mental health, oral health, ophthalmology, surgery, blood banks, and disabilities are now being measured for the first time. Dr. Tom added that the plan contains an integrated measurement framework that is representative of of all sectors and aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals. Nawaib is the second district in Morobe province to launch its 2023 to 2027 development plan. Prime Minister James Marape was at Boana Station yesterday to receive the district's development plan as well as participate in the groundbreaking of its new district office complex.
Boana Station, the headquarters of Nawai district in Morobe province, came alive yesterday as schools, sing groups and a live band attracted locals from far and wide to witness the milestone launching of the district's 2023 to 2027 development plan. Aligned with the district's development plan will be the building of a modern district headquarters, which also had its groundbreaking after the launch. Prime Minister James Marape made his second visit to Nawai yesterday. His first visit was during the 2020 Evangelical Lutheran Church Synod at Boana. The PM was accompanied by the Minister for Finance and Planning, Rainbow Paita, and Works Minister, Solan Mirisim. When addressing his constituents, local MP and prominent lay businessman Theo Pelgen said his vision is now his people's.
It has not come easy. With discrimination and slander, today would not be possible without the government unity. I ask my good people from Nawai to look between the lines, to see the leadership direction and support where the Marape and Rosso government is leading us. For one example, connect PNG for prosperity. To support, the growth of the economy in Nawai. My people here today, I hold this walking stick that's given to me by the people of Labuta. They say, this stick will give you the strength to walk about the mountain, to see our brothers and sisters at Wine, Irep, Nambak, and our family at Ahi Rule. This walking stick will carry me, give me the strength, give me the power to deliver the service that all your people are entitled for and what you people deserve.
When applauding the local MP's vision, Prime Minister Marape said Pelgen was the first member of parliament to submit his 6-month report when normally MPs submit the reports after a year. He stressed that development must reach every corner of the country and repeated the Works Minister's commitment to include the Boana Road in the Connect PNG program next year. Legislated in Parliament, 5.6% of the national budget will be allocated to building roads and connecting wards and LLGs to cities. Finchafen will soon be connected to Ley. Roadworks are underway in Minyama, and starting next year, the government will allocate funding to build a main road that will connect Wine to Erap, then Boana, Nabak, and link up with Finchafen. Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Ley.
Minister for Information and Communication Technology Timothy Masiu was informed that Chinese government and the International Telecommunication Union is committed for a more closer ICT cooperation with PNG. This comes after Minister Masiu traveled to China's Shenzhen city recently for a two-day seminar jointly hosted by the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology and the ITU on building a digital future for all, and the 2023 BRICS Forum on Future Networks Innovation. Apart from the other commitments made for cooperation between China, ITU and PNG, China announced 10 Chinese study scholarships for PNG students to take up and 5 Connect the Schools project for PNG. Built at the cost of more than 15.3 million kina, the Tissue Culture Laboratory and Integrated Training Center in Kainantu, Eastern Highlands Province will serve more than 30,000 farmers and more than 700 village extension officers across 10 provinces. The Integrated Training Center and Tissue Lab were officially opened today by the Australian High Commissioner John Philp and Chief Executive Officer for Fresh Produce Development Agency Mark Warino in Kainantu, Eastern Highlands Province.
Australian High Commissioner John Philp has acknowledged the important role the Fresh Produce Development Agency plays in the country through farmers. Speaking at the opening of the Tissue Culture Laboratory and Integrated Training Center in Kainantu on Tuesday, Mr. Phillips said this infrastructure project is significant in terms of food security.
The impact of this new agency is really important, not just for Kainantu, but for the whole of the Eastern Highlands Province, for 8,550 farming families in this region, and farmers all across Papua New Guinea who will benefit from new planting materials free of diseases and pests.
He said to eradicate poverty and hunger in PNG and the rest of the world, the PNG government must prioritize agriculture through the medium-term development plans. He added that Australia stands ready to support relating projects.
It's an example of how Australia and the government of PNG will work with local partners to support change, to empower farmers to create better outcomes for communities. This project is unique because it supported education and agriculture one time. We'll come up in economic and social development along Eastern Highlands, the PNG. New Pilla School by giving opportunity on Kisim Gupla and a New Pilla Savvy along agriculture. We'll come up in Big Pilla crop produce and a straightened life now Gupala Sinda along.
Chief Executive Officer for Fresh Produce Development Agency Mark Vorinu thanked the government of Australia for funding the two facilities.
I want to thank the Australian government and the people of Australia for the wonderful gift that you have given to us. It will create impact, particularly to improve the livelihoods of our people. Sometimes, when your term is up, Your Excellency John Philp, when you come back some other time in future, you might hear the stories of how it is impacting the livelihoods of our people.
The center and the laboratory cost 15.3 million kina. It is funded by the government of Australia through the Incentive Fund program. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
FPDA Chief Executive Officer Mark Warino has now urged the people of Kainantu to take ownership of this vital infrastructure.
Look out him also something where kind man or some all Australian taxpayers only give him me like appeal now. Lo you blow line lo Kainantu. Obro wani narana. Ogatol Arab districts. Stop close to. Look out him all workman. Look out him all facility. Usat money come long here. Look out him good. So that all something by stop long time. One block good block passing long Eastern Highlands generally compared to all other Highlands provinces. All land look out him government properties. Ewan block good passing. There's a passing. There's a passing diplomas look out him.
Since May of this year, Madang Open has been without a member when Sir Bob Dadai formally dismissed from office former Cabinet Minister and member for Madang Open, Brian Kramer. This came about from recommendations from the Leadership Tribunal on dismissal and fines of 200,000 kina each for 5 allegations while in office. It is now a pending matter for the Madang Provincial Electoral Office in coordinating a by-election, which they say is to be expected.
And we are actually planning for the elections. There is no formal directions from the commissioner on when this election will be held. But yes, we are going. We are preparing for the by-election. My office is actually doing the groundwork in preparation for the by-election at this time. But we don't know when the dates will be set for this election.
According to Provincial Returning Officer Sponsor Navi, the office at the moment is working towards by-elections. As yet, funding figures and allocations cannot be mentioned as they are awaiting approval from the Electoral Commissioner. In light of the roles and updating, Mr. Navi states that they will be using the 2022 common roll used in the 2022 general elections.
I don't think we have time to do that at this time, because if the election dates are set for like within this year, then we don't have time to, update our role for the election. So I believe we will be using the last election role to conduct the election.
Mr. Navi added that in terms of including young adults that have turned 18 after the 2022 general elections and those that will turn 18 before the by-election will not be accommodated.
We cannot accommodate anyone from now onwards because we have not done any role work, because it takes a while to do the role itself. About more than 6-7 months, 8 months to do that. So we cannot do the role within a very short time.
As stipulated by Navi, officers are currently preparing groundwork in anticipation of the by-election.
For internal candidates, if they are listening and watching, the dates are yet to be set for the elections. But we are just doing our what we had to do, the administrative side of it. So our logistical side, as the materials and all that, then we'll wait for when they will set the dates for us to conduct the elections.
Alice Peter reporting, Madang.
And now the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.2760 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying $0.2685, $0.415 Australian dollars, €0.2421 euro, and 39.14 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, copra, crude oil, and copper closed higher, while gold, coffee, cocoa, and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager Red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and the New Guinea Islands. SP Lager, Bungi Mumi!
quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add the kakaro, get up a big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking and local news delivered direct to you. Read anytime from anywhere. Download the Loop PNG News app today. Available now on Google Play Store and the App Store.
Pickett at the back. Power in front. Pickett's taken the mark. Pickett does play on around the corner and kicks the goal. And he dribbles it through. They are still alive. Curno the target. In front was Martin. The handball over the top. Here's McCoy. Shuffle it out to Curno. Dribble on the ground. They've got 2 and 2 minutes, the Blues. The MCG's erupted. Akers, there's your game.
Hey PNG, this is WWE superstar Sami Zayn, and I wish I had more stories about your beautiful country. I've always wanted to go, and I still have never been. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day WWE will come there. That'd be great. But until then, I just wanted to say happy 48th anniversary of celebrating your independence, and until I get to actually come over there and have a good cup of coffee with you guys, just make sure to watch us every week on Digicel.
And we're back. In regional news, Qantas has issued its first ever apology to workers after the High Court upheld a ruling finding the airline illegally sacked 1,700 ground crew staff members during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It had to outsource the jobs for commercial reasons, but the union argued the motivation was to avoid industrial action when things returned to normal, which breached the Fair Work Act. Today, the workers emerged triumphant.
The Court of Public Opinion already handed down their decision on Qantas. What we want to see is this. We want to see Qantas restore respect for both their customers and the workforce.
For those who lost their jobs, it was a moment of sweetness after 3 years of stress.
This really is a brilliant vibe, isn't it? You know, to have a win. Fairy tales come through.
We loved Qantas, the people behind me, the workers that stood there, made sure that your airline was the safest in the world. It's not the safest in the world anymore, but let's hope it gets back to there.
Qantas has acknowledged the ruling in a statement and that it will have to pay penalties and compensation to the workers. The union says it hopes to bring the case on in the federal court within days.
A small group of countries is driving new oil and gas expansion, and if allowed to proceed, would lock in climate chaos and an unlivable future. Oil Change International reveals 20 countries have been exposed as being responsible for nearly 90% of carbon dioxide pollution threatened by new oil and gas fields and fracking wells planned between 2023 and 2050, with Australia making an appearance in the report's top 5 planet record category. The report finds that Australia is poised to be the world's 8th largest expander of oil and gas extraction from 2023 to 2050 and ranks Australia as the world's 3rd largest exporter of fossil fuel pollution. People with health conditions are being told to limit activity outdoors as smoke from hazard reduction burns blankets Sydney.
Number of large hazard reduction burns around Sydney over the last few days, but the RFS says that the majority of those have been completed and firefighters are now working on some smaller controlled burns. They say that this is important work to do ahead of the upcoming fire season. But again, people with health conditions and asthma are being warned to limit their activities outdoors and stay inside as much as possible in order to protect their health.
Last few years has been extremely wet, and it's slowed down considerably how much burning we are able to do. And indeed, we only in the last year did 24% of what we planned to do. So we're so far behind. We have to take advantage now that we're in this drying period. We're seeing fire seasons predicted to be a lot more active than they have for the last couple of years. So we really need to get in and do this work.
The RFS says it's completed the majority of its larger hazard reduction burns, but firefighters are continuing to work on some smaller controlled burns. They say these burns are crucial to do ahead of the upcoming fire season. But again, people with asthma and other health conditions are being warned to stay inside as much as possible and reduce their activity outdoors in order to protect their health during this smoke.
Back home, the concept Connect Central First comes from the Barra 2 operator skills training and is derived from the government's Connect PNG project. Executive Director of BOSS, Tony Ombora, emphasized that Connect Central First is the building and using people of Central Province to use the trained skills to give back through the development of the province. Unlike many other institutions in the country, Barra 2 operator skills training is pushing the concept Connect Central First, derived from the PNG government's Connect PNG program. According to the 2010 census, Central Province has a total population of over 200,000. It has doubled or tripled over the last decade. Executive Director of BOSS, Tony Ombora, says Barra to emphasize that Connect Central First is the building and using people of Central Province to use the trained skills to give back through development of the province.
While the country is talking about Connect PNG project, I continue to worry about consequences that come with this mega project and how we as Central Province can defend our land. We get Connect. As such, on every training, I continue to push the concept of Connect Central First. Whether it be as a plant operator to build road, SME owner doing business, ICT, and other areas. The bottom line is to build our capacity complete.
Ombora and other community leaders in Hirikoyari would like to see more of the youths engaged in such contracts, especially those who have been trained in building roads or infrastructure.
If the law allows, it is my humble request to our political leaders present here today to take note going forward. We can have contract clause in all road and building contracts that specifies that contractors must cater for 3 to 4 central students to do on-the-job training under CPG issue contracts.
In response to Barra 2's concept, Executive Officer to the Office of the Central Governor, Tau Geno Hoire, said it was important to encourage the people of Central in career development as well as developing their province. Hoire is confident about the concept and stated that the concepts and ideas given will be discussed. And that ends the news segment. In sports, PNG Barras and Aussie PM's 13 team announced, and Keama sent to defend title.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
William Hop Monimak bilang 400,000 kina on-time roots rice.
600 per month mere by winning 500 kina each or get a fortnight na by got form the big blow winner belong 25,000 kina each. Long enter, buy 10 kg roots medium grain rice, cut him logo lo front long bag, write him name na number long you long backside, na put him long entry box long all participating store. Roots victory cash giveaway. No can miss out. Terms and conditions is up.
Are you ready to meet the best version of yourself? The one with the bright, confident smile? You've got to take pride in how good you look, how fresh your breath smells, and how great you feel. To boss it at work, to be your best for uni, or to catch the eye of that special someone. You've got to brush up your vibe with whiter, healthier, brighter teeth. Brush up for confidence with Colgate.
Want more data for less? Get it now with Digicel's revamped Red Club. Enjoy data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Plus rollover data, the widest coverage, fastest speeds, and best reliability. Only with Red Club. Join Digicel's exclusive Red Club today and get loads more data for less. Yes! Data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Whoa! Join today for as low as 10 kilo weekly to access discounted data bundles and get more data for less. Dial *675# or visit the My Digicel app today. The Red Club. Only with Digicel.
On the ground, the Fijian. Kebalo, oh, Butterfingers there out of the hands of Dante. You've got to be careful. He's up. Ramos in the corner.
Hello, WWE Universe. This is WWE superstar Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades. I'm here to set it all on fire. Watch WWE on Digicel TV.
Chef Scott Laseth is cooking up the world's creepiest critters.
You with me? No.
Iguana, hagfish, and wild boar are just some of the items in this season's menu.
Let's eat. And eat. And eat. It's nothing like you've had anywhere.
Hey, dead meat!
Dead Meat, first and exclusive in Asia. Streaming now on Outdoor.
Our year. That's what the 8 final teams will be having in mind going into the finals.
You know, they've got the capability to do it in regards to talent.
It's going to be brutal. Oh! It's going down to the wire.
Superstar on superstar again.
It's going to be spectacular.
With a huge
Don't miss a moment in this year's finals. It's all happening right here on TVWAN Sports, your home of rugby league.
Welcome back. The Australian Rugby League Commission and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have announced the Australian men and women's Prime Minister starting teams to take on PNG Prime Minister starting teams at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby on Saturday, September 23. The men's squad will include 8 representatives from the 2021 World Cup winning Kangaroos squad.
The Women's Prime Minister's 13 has been selected with a view to giving some of the best up-and-coming players in the NRLW an opportunity alongside a number of established representative players, including Kennedy Harrington, Belly Wells, and Talisha Harden. Prime Minister Albanese said Papua New Guinea and Australia are the closest of neighbors and the best of friends, together to build a more prosperous, stable, and peaceful region. Rugby League is an opportunity to celebrate the friendship and strengthen their partnership. Australian man coach Mal Meninga said the match would provide a selection guide ahead of the first ever Pacific Championships across October and November. Meninga said the squad is a blend of experience from the World Cup last year, additional state of origin players from this year, as well as younger players who they would like to see at this level. While Rabbitoh star Latrell Mitchell is not included, some notable regular NRL names are George Adokia, Derry Terry Evans, Ruben Cotter, and Cameron Murray from the Rabbitohs as captain. Australian women coach Brett Donald said the PM's 13 would provide opportunities for the players to both further their representative aspirations as well as experience something quite unique. It's a really well-balanced team featuring some of the First Nations Jam players, emerging talent in the NRLW competition, and a handful of Jelaru's representatives who would be the key players. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
A total of 21 provinces are confirmed for the much-delayed PNG Games, which is now confirmed to run from December 6th to 16th in Port Moresby. Minister for Sports Don Polio is calling on fellow MPs to get behind their respective provincial teams and provide all the necessary fundings and logistics support needed to enable the teams to travel to the Games.
Minister Polio spoke passionately about the essence of sport in terms of promoting unity, good health and positive mindset for people in general, while highlighting the serious implications in regards to law and order and other social and economic issues. Minister Polio specifically dwelled on how serious he is to make sure the PNG Games are delivered successfully this year after multiple delays.
We have talked through the PNG Sports Foundation, our CEO and his team have talked to all 22 provinces. And out of the 22 provinces, 21 provinces have agreed, given their consent to participating in all the 11 sports modes that will be participated by all of them in Port Moresby on the date I'm giving, and I'm very pleased and I'm proud to do that. I want Papua New Guineans to look at sport just not like something that is in the periphery of young people. It is not confined to just young people or those who want to achieve a medal or those who want to make a name for themselves. I would like to see Papua New Guinea to sport as a culture, a way of life that enhances health, longevity, health and fitness, and more importantly, positive mindset.
Minister Polio again assured Games Committee that the government funding component of $5 million will be released by Treasury quickly to get all the preparations started. CEO PNG Sports Foundation Albert Veretau has again thanked the government through the Sports Minister for their strong funding commitment both for the Pacific Games and the PNG Games, which is important to uniting people and building friendships in sport.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Minister for his undivided support and also once again appeal to our Treasury Department, our Secretary and our Minister to come forward and support us with the PNG Games. This is one game that unites the country, and I think currently with what's happening throughout the whole country and a lot of uncertainty, a lot of instability around the country, I think you need this sport to bring the 22 provinces together, unite them. The theme always is about provincial pride and national unity. So that's what the PNG Games stands for.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Member for Lae and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso opened the Lae Golf Club's new driving range on the evening of Saturday, the 2nd of September. The new driving range, which was proposed 3 years ago, has now become reality.
The Lae Golf Club's new driving range was opened by Member for Lae and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso on the evening of Saturday, the 2nd of September. It was the Deputy Prime Minister's first time to swing a golf club to officially open the range after the second day of the PNG Senior Open Tournament. After getting a few pointers from one of the Australian professionals, Rosso opened the driving range with a hit, followed by Lae Golf Club President Phil Hommelhoff. The opening paved the way for 4 of the pro golfers to compete for the 5,000 kina longest straightest drive. Hommelhoff said the range has become a reality after being proposed 3 years ago.
It's been funded by business houses here in Lae. We wouldn't be able to do it otherwise because we're not that flush. So we went to the business houses as we normally do, and of course everybody's jumped on board to help us construct what we've got, which we think is pretty fantastic. And they are JB Constructions, Track Pro jumped on board pretty quickly, Brian Bell Electrical, Supply.
Hommelhoff further said the new driving range also presents an opportunity for schools to bring students to take practice swings. Kamila Guare, TV1 Sports, They.
The Como Petroleum Barramundi squad for the T20 Malaysian tour was announced today by Cricket PNG CEO Richard Dunn. The 13-team squad will travel to Malaysia this Sunday, captained by Asad Vala and accompanied by 4 support staff.
PNG Barras are scheduled to play round-robin matches against host Malaysia and Hong Kong over 6 days. CEO Cricket PNG Richard Dunn, after announcing the team today, was very excited about PNG qualifying for the T20 World Cup in the USA and said tournaments like this will help in their lead-up to the World Cup.
We're very excited. It's a great opportunity for our side, having qualified for the World Cup, the T20 World Cup next year in the USA, and West Indies to to start their preparation and to really start to build towards that main event.
Barras captain Asad Vala said there's good vibe in the camp at the moment, and while the boys are working hard to prepare for the upcoming tournament to consolidate their position in the T20 next year.
It's a really important tournament, but not just for getting match practice or anything, but we want to cement sports and represent our country in the World Cup. So everything is leading up to that, and our preparation has been going really well. Our boys have been working really hard to give ourselves the best opportunity to get the result we want.
Coach Tatenda Taibu, who recently returned from Vanuatu with the PNG Levers, is also excited about the talent in the men's team and very confident they will do well at the Malaysian tournament.
I've just joined the MEL, the last 2 days, and again, it's been exciting. And it's important to start looking at the World Cup now. And this is part of the preparations, for the World Cup. Obviously, World Cup is a big stage, and we want to cause a lot of upsets. So, we start our preparations now as we go to Malaysia.
PNG's opening game is on the 20th of September against host Malaysia before they face Hong Kong on the 21st of September. The tournament will end on the 24th of September 2023. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
This ends the sports segment. Over to you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Tracy. And that ends the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.